When Taylor Swift walked into Arrowhead Stadium that Sunday night, the crowd didn't just roar for the Kansas City Chiefs, they gasped for her. Cameras panned across the stands, catching that familiar blonde hair and crimson lip, but what stole everyone's breath wasn't her outfit. It was the ring. In one dazzling, blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment, Swift lifted her hand to wave, and a burst of diamond light caught the lens. The stadium lights danced on her finger, and instantly the internet exploded. Within minutes, now-worn Taylor Swift and engagement ring were trending worldwide. The Chiefs were playing the Lions, but let's be honest, nobody cared about the score anymore. This was Taylor's first on-camera appearance at a Chiefs game this season, and it couldn't have been scripted better. The broadcast caught her mid-laugh, leaning toward Travis Kelce's father, Ed, in a warm, genuine moment that sent social media into a frenzy. Viewers described it as the soft launch of her new chapter, a public debut of Mrs. Kelce energy. For fans, it was more than just a relationship update. It was a glimpse into something real. Taylor, calm and radiant, surrounded by family, cheering for her fiancé like any other couple on game day. Yet because it's Taylor Swift, every glance, smile, and sparkle carried meaning. The way she leaned into the moment said it all. She wasn't hiding anymore. Reporters called it her stadium comeback. After keeping her NFL appearances low-key for weeks, she chose this game, and this ring, to mark her return to the spotlight. Fans couldn't stop dissecting it. The outfit, the hair, the lipstick, the jewelry. But mostly, they couldn't stop replaying that shot, the one where she hugged Ed Kelce and the camera zoomed in, catching the ring's reflection just as the crowd erupted behind them. That single frame was instantly turned into GIFs, memes, and TikToks with millions of views. Some fans joked that the ring had better lighting than the field. Others said it symbolized how far Taylor had come, from heartbreak ballads to a love story that looked solid, grounded, and completely hers. But as bright as that moment was, it wasn't the whole story. Because what came next revealed just how intentional Taylor's entire appearance might have been. From the moment cameras caught Taylor in the private Arrowhead suite, fans knew this wasn't just another celebrity sighting. It felt personal, like being invited into a family moment that wasn't meant to be public, yet somehow was. There she was, the biggest pop star in the world, sitting comfortably between Donna and Ed Kelce, smiling, laughing, and completely at ease. Just a few seats away sat WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark, another star in her own right, but even she seemed to fade into the background as the focus locked on Taylor. The room buzzed with quiet excitement, a crossover of pop culture, sports, and family unity that no PR team could have planned better. But what really sent fans into overdrive was how natural it all looked. There was no forced posing, no over-the-top theatrics, just Taylor fitting in as if she'd been part of the Kelce family for years. Donna Kelce, often seen as the warm heart of the NFL fandom, leaned in to whisper something that made Taylor burst out laughing. Ed smiled, proud and approving. It wasn't just Taylor Swift, the megastar. It was Taylor Swift, the future daughter-in-law. The chemistry in that suite told a story the broadcast didn't need to explain. It wasn't just about showing up to support her fiancé. It was about being seen with his family. A statement stronger than any caption or interview. Fans online immediately picked up on it. One viral post on X read, "Taylor isn't performing, she's living. That's the real glow." It was a subtle but powerful image. The woman who once wrote anthems about heartbreak, now laughing freely with her partner's parents during an NFL game. The internet couldn't get enough. Swifties began analyzing the smallest gestures, the matching Chiefs colors, the playful wave toward the camera, even the snacks she held. Everything became evidence of how settled and happy she seemed. Then came the comparisons. Social media threads lit up with fans recalling how different Taylor's energy looked compared to past public relationships. "This isn't PR," one Reddit user wrote. "This is real." And whether that was fact or fan fantasy didn't even matter, because perception drives virality, and perception said Taylor Swift was home. By halftime, the narrative was already locked in. Taylor wasn't at the Chiefs game as a guest. She was there as family. But if the suite scene painted a picture of peace and belonging, the ring on her hand told an entirely different story. One that had fans zooming, screenshotting, and obsessing like detectives, because next came the moment that truly broke the internet. The second the camera caught that flash of light on Taylor's hand, fans froze their screens like detectives pausing a crime scene. There it was. The ring. Massive. Timeless. Dazzling enough to outshine the scoreboard itself. In that instant, social media turned into a virtual magnifying glass. Zoomed-in screenshots flooded X and TikTok, each post claiming to have the best angle yet. Swifties analyzed everything, the cut, the clarity, even the color tone of the stone. Some swore it was a vintage oval diamond with subtle pink undertones. Others said it was a custom hybrid design, a blend of classic and modern, just like Taylor herself. But the real storm started when fans began connecting the ring's design to Taylor's lyrics. In her song, So High School, which many believe was written about Travis, she sings about a love that feels young, simple, and pure, like prom night in a small town. The ring, elegant but understated, reflected that same energy. It wasn't just about glamour. It was about meaning. Some even theorized that the ring's shape mimicked the outline of Arrowhead Stadium when seen from above, a romantic nod to where their story truly took root. Whether that's true or just another layer of Swiftie imagination didn't matter. The theory itself became content, and within hours, TikTok was flooded with breakdowns of the symbolism behind Taylor's engagement ring. Let's not forget the caption that started it all. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. It was witty, grounded, and self-aware, exactly what fans love about Taylor. That line turned her engagement announcement into a cultural event. And now, that same ring from the garden proposal had made its grand stadium debut under the blinding lights of an NFL game. Reports say the proposal happened back in late August in a floral-filled garden, intimate, private, surrounded by the kind of calm most pop stars never get. But at Arrowhead, the world finally saw the proof. This wasn't just a ring, it was a declaration. Even jewelry experts jumped in. One told people that the estimated price could exceed $1.5 million, depending on the custom detailing. But fans didn't care about the cost. They cared about the story. Because to them, that sparkle on her finger wasn't about wealth, it was about validation. After years of heartbreak songs, breakups, and endless public speculation, Taylor was finally the one being celebrated for being loved right. Still, amid all the glitter and fan theories, one thing became clear. This ring wasn't just a symbol of commitment, it was a new era. But before Taylor got here, before this moment of quiet confidence and diamond reflections, her relationship with Travis Kelce had to survive public doubt, media pressure, and a timeline the world watched unfold like a movie. And that story? That's where things get even more interesting. Let's rewind. Before the stadium suites, before the viral proposal post, before that diamond lit up Arrowhead, this story started with a bracelet. Yeah, you heard that right. It all began when Travis Kelce, NFL star and confident on the field, admitted something most guys wouldn't. He was nervous to meet Taylor Swift. Back in July 2023, he went on his podcast and confessed that he made her a friendship bracelet, the same kind Swifties trade at her concerts, and he actually wanted to give it to her. That tiny moment, it was the spark. At first, fans laughed it off. A football player shooting his shot at the world's biggest pop star. Sounds like fan fiction. But then, whispers turned into sightings. The internet caught fire when Taylor showed up at Arrowhead for the first time in September 2023, sitting beside Travis's mom, Donna Kelce, cheering like she'd been part of the Chiefs family forever. That was the moment. The crossover nobody saw coming. NFL Sundays and Taylor Swift fandoms colliding in the wildest cultural mashup ever. Headlines exploded. Every camera angle, every smile, every glance between them became evidence. Was it love or publicity? People argued. Some called it the PR romance of the century. Others said, no, this feels real. And for once, Taylor didn't hide. She leaned into it, showing up again and again, not just as a pop icon, but as a proud girlfriend. As the months went on, their connection grew stronger, subtle, but real. Paparazzi caught them holding hands after games, sneaking into quiet restaurants, even coordinating their outfits. But what fans noticed most was the calm in Taylor. Gone was the guarded energy from her past relationships. With Travis, she seemed grounded, unbothered, happy. Then came the world tour break. Everyone expected distance, silence, maybe even a cooling off. Instead, Travis flew halfway around the world to catch her Eras Tour shows, from Argentina to Singapore, standing in the crowd, grinning like he'd won more than a Super Bowl. And when she changed her lyric mid-performance to "Karma is the guy on the Chiefs coming straight home to me," the internet melted. By early 2024, the rumor mill wasn't questioning if they were serious. It was predicting when the ring would come. And when it did, in that quiet garden in late August, it wasn't about spectacle or headlines. It was about two people who'd lived their lives under the spotlight, finally choosing something private, real, and intentional. Now, months later, seeing her wearing that ring at Arrowhead wasn't just a fashion moment. It was a full circle moment. The same stadium where their story began had become the stage for its next chapter. But while the world celebrated, not everyone was thrilled. Some fans worried, could this kind of fame, this much public attention, hurt what they've built? When Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce went public, it didn't just trend, it broke the internet. Overnight, their relationship became more than romance. It was a global event. Every move, every glance, every stadium visit turned into breaking news. Paparazzi waited outside restaurants. Sports anchors debated their love life. And Swifties, millions of them, became Chiefs fans practically overnight. But with that much attention, the fairy tale glow started to face its first cracks. When Taylor showed up at Arrowhead, wearing Chiefs red and cheering with Donna Kelce, some NFL fans complained the broadcasts showed her too much. It's about football, not Taylor Swift, they said. But let's be real, the cameras couldn't not cut to her. She was the biggest artist in the world, smiling proudly from the suite, and while that support looked effortless, it came with a cost. Suddenly, her love life wasn't hers anymore. Every facial expression was overanalyzed. If she laughed, cried, or even looked distracted, it became a headline. Then came the deeper pressure, balancing two worlds. Taylor's world, all glam, art, and music, colliding with Travis's, raw, competitive, and masculine. Yet instead of clashing, they complemented each other. Still, the noise outside never stopped. Rumors swirled that the NFL was using Taylor for ratings. Critics accused her of turning football into a pop concert. Even Travis got dragged into headlines. Fans wondered if he was ready for that level of attention. But through it all, both of them stayed remarkably calm. Taylor didn't clap back. Travis didn't snap under pressure. In fact, he laughed about it on his podcast, saying he loved that she brought new fans to football. That mix of humor and loyalty only made people root for them harder. But let's not sugarcoat it. Fame like this can be dangerous. We've seen what the spotlight does to celebrity couples. It can twist love into performance, affection into PR. And fans, even the kind ones, can sometimes cross lines without realizing it. Despite that, Taylor and Travis handled the chaos like pros. She kept showing up, not every week, but when it mattered. And he supported her tour, her music, her success, even when critics tried to paint him as the +1. Still, whispers continued. Would the pressure break them? Could a relationship this public survive when the world refuses to give them privacy? Nobody knew. But what we did know was this. When Taylor stepped out again this season, flashing that massive engagement ring, the noise suddenly turned into applause. The same people who once doubted them were now saying, "Okay, They're the real deal. And that's the thing about Taylor. Every time the world doubts her, she comes back stronger, calmer, more in control. But behind that perfect image, was there something deeper? Something she was still protecting? When Taylor Swift revealed that sparkling engagement ring on her finger, fans didn't just see jewelry, they saw messages. Because when it comes to Taylor, nothing is ever random. Every lyric, every outfit, every gesture hides a story. And this time, the clues are louder than ever. The ring itself? Massive. A vintage-inspired oval diamond, surrounded by smaller stones, catching light like it's straight out of one of her lyrics. But Swifties immediately noticed something familiar. The design looked eerily similar to the mirror ball motif she's used in her songs for years. You know? The one that reflects everyone else's light while hiding cracks beneath? Yeah. That? Some fans think this ring isn't just a symbol of love, it's a declaration of identity. For years, Taylor's music has chronicled heartbreak, power, and self-reinvention. But this ring, it screams arrival, like she's finally in control, no longer the girl writing breakup songs from the shadows, she's the woman writing her own happy ending. But then came the theories, because with Swift, there are always theories. Reddit threads blew up with speculation that the engagement announcement might tie into her next album era. After all, the Instagram caption, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married," wasn't just adorable, it was cryptic. Fans dissected every emoji, every word. Your English teacher clearly nods to Taylor, the lyricist, the storyteller. Your gym teacher? That's Travis, the athlete, the heart, the strength. Together, it's art meets grit, mind meets muscle. The perfect metaphor for balance, and maybe a reflection of the themes of her next creative chapter. But some Swifties believe there's more. They point out that the announcement was posted on August 26th, the same week as her So High School release, a song clearly about Travis. That timing can't be coincidence. It's like she's connecting her personal joy to her artistic message, rediscovering young love, but this time with maturity and peace. Still, not everyone's convinced it's all smooth sailing. A few skeptics say the engagement could be a strategic move, a way to shift focus from her past controversies or to redefine her image as she heads into her next era. Others argue it's exactly the opposite, that Taylor's finally stopped caring about PR and is living her truth, no filter, no agenda. But here's the real emotional core. This engagement represents safety. For someone who's lived half her life being picked apart by tabloids, finding someone who doesn't flinch at fame, someone who matches her energy, protects her peace, that's huge. So while the internet debates the symbolism and hidden meanings, Taylor and Travis just keep doing their thing, quietly, confidently, without feeding the noise. Because sometimes silence says more than 1,000 press releases. Still, one question keeps echoing through the fandom. If this ring represents peace, what will the wedding represent? When Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce dropped the bombshell of their engagement, the internet went wild. But the next big question came fast. When's the wedding? And that's where things get interesting. Because while most celebrity couples love the spotlight, Taylor and Travis seem to be doing the opposite, pulling back, keeping things quiet, and planning something that fans can feel brewing, even if they can't see it. According to sources close to the couple, the two aren't chasing a royal-style spectacle or a celebrity circus. Nope. They want something private, intimate, a ceremony surrounded by only their closest friends and family. One insider told People magazine, "It will definitely be a private affair and not a spectacle. They both have a close circle and they'll respect their privacy." That statement alone sent Swifties spiraling. Because, let's be honest, Taylor's never done anything halfway. From secret album drops to Easter egg-filled videos, she plans everything. So if she's keeping her wedding low-key, you know it's not about hiding, it's about meaning. But even with all that secrecy, the speculation hasn't stopped for a second. Fan accounts across X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit are constantly sharing clues, from floral designs seen at her Rhode Island home to mysterious reservations made at luxury venues in Tennessee and London. One viral theory suggests she might even hold a dual ceremony, one symbolic, one private, mirroring her two worlds, music and love. Meanwhile, Travis's side of the story adds a whole new flavor. His family, especially his mom, Donna Kelce, has already won hearts with her warmth and sense of humor. Fans adore the idea of a Midwest meets pop royalty wedding, with cozy traditions and elegant touches. Still, not everyone's on board. Some hardcore Swifties are worried the wedding could change her, that she'll trade her mysterious era's energy for a quieter, settled image. Others argue this is exactly what Taylor's been working toward: peace, maturity, and a real-life happy ending after years of chaos. And then, there's the question of who will be there. Selena Gomez as maid of honor, Ed Sheeran performing an acoustic love song, or maybe she'll break the internet again and release a surprise wedding album documenting the moment in her own words. Because let's be honest, this is Taylor Swift. Nothing she does is ever just personal. It becomes part of her story. But beneath all the theories and wedding fever, one thing is clear: she's doing it on her terms. After a lifetime in the public eye, Taylor's learned that love only lasts when it's protected from the noise. Still, the calm before the wedding storm has fans holding their breath. Because with Taylor, every silence means something big is coming. Taylor Swift's engagement to Travis Kelce isn't just another celebrity love story, it's a power move. The kind that quietly reshapes her image, her influence, and even her future as one of the most unstoppable figures in modern pop culture. Because when you really think about it, Taylor's story has always been about evolution. From country sweetheart to pop powerhouse, from heartbreak anthems to empowerment epics, every era has shown her reclaiming control. And now, with this engagement, she's not just rewriting the love story, she's redefining what power looks like for a woman in the spotlight. For years, tabloids painted Taylor as the serial dater, the girl who turned breakups into chart toppers. But this moment, the ring, the calm confidence, the family dinners with the Kelces, flips that narrative on its head. She's no longer the heartbroken songwriter. She's the woman who built her empire, stood up for her masters, and found a partner strong enough to walk beside her, not behind her. And Travis Kelce? He's not the Hollywood type. He's grounded, athletic, authentic, a sharp contrast to the moody musicians and actors from Taylor's past. That's what makes this union feel different. It's not built on image, but on balance. The pop icon and the football star, two people at the peak of their worlds, finding common ground amid chaos. But make no mistake, Taylor's still the one steering the ship. Her engagement announcement wasn't leaked by paparazzi or teased by PR. It came straight from her, on her own terms, set to her own song. That's control. That's narrative mastery. Fans are calling it the love era, a phase of peace and power, where Taylor no longer has to fight for credibility or attention. She's achieved everything: record-breaking tours, billionaire status, and now a relationship that feels steady, not staged. But there's a deeper shift happening too. Industry insiders believe this engagement could mark the start of Taylor's next creative wave, one focused on legacy, reflection, and maybe even motherhood down the line. Not in a retirement sense, but in an evolution, from pop phenomenon to cultural matriarch. And that's exactly what makes her so fascinating. She's managed to grow up publicly without losing her mystery. Every move feels intentional, but never forced. Even now, as the world buzzes about her ring and wedding plans, Taylor keeps the real story close to her chest, giving fans just enough to stay hooked, but never everything. It's not just a love story, it's a statement. Taylor Swift isn't stepping back from fame, she's reshaping it, from heartbreak to harmony, from being chased by headlines to choosing when to make them. That's the evolution. That's the era.